Are you a deviant? You know, like those of us who binge watch serial killer programs, laugh at the stupid shit people do, and revel in anything adult? Well, you found your people. Join us as we crack open the door to the padded cell and release the insanely stupid, the weirdly wonderful, and those who choose to live outside societal norms. We'll delve into the strange, the macabre, the sexy, and the outrageous. So if you're a deviant, then you have your place with us in the padded cell. Hello, gang. Welcome to episode 24 of the Padded Cell podcast. I'm Vicky.
I'm Nancy, still.
With a glass of piss sitting next to you.
Such a Jimmy.
It generally
It's
looks
better
like
than a
glass of
monster,
piss.
though, isn't it?
Yeah, it is, but it just looks like urine.
It does.
It is apple juice, though, isn't it?
Apple juice, honest.
Okay. Nancy's just admitted that she's a bit windy
Yeah.
today. Literally
Burpy,
just this
not,
second.
Not from the bum.
So, yeah, burp windy, not bottom
Yeah.
burpy. Windy. Same thing. But
Bottom
feel free, and we'll see how good it is to keep it on. So, do you remember, I don't know, a couple of weeks ago, and I said, how are you doing? And you said, I'm fine. And we always say, I'm fine, everything's fine.
But yeah, we are
And it's-
always fine.
Yeah. And we say it in a fine, like, you know, we're
Yeah,
a woman on
sometimes
the
we're fine,
edge.
and sometimes we're fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and I said, fine stands for something. And I completely and utterly forgot to put it in the podcast.
What's the sample?
So fine stands for, it's very appropriate for us, fucked up, insecure, neurotic and emotional.
I'm fine.
So every time you, me and Sarah go, we're fine, you can remember fucked up, insecure, neurotic and emotional, because that is us. When we say it in that way, that is exactly the way we are.
It's been one of those weeks, hasn't it? We've been fine.
Yeah, it's just been nuts. I feel like I've crammed loads and loads of things in.
Yeah.
I've got nowhere as well. Like
Yeah.
I've got loads of things done, but I feel like my list is still huge.
Your list just gets bigger.
Yeah, things keep getting added to it. But, you know, that's just life.
And we love a list, don't we? We
yeah.
absolutely love a list. We thrive on
There's
a
just
list.
something very cathartic about ticking things off the list.
Yeah.
And then when you've done something that isn't on your list, you're fuming.
Even though
so
you
then you've got to write it
you
down
tick
to
one
tick
and
it.
then you'd add 4.
Yeah. But you know, if I've got like loads and I'm like really like, you know, forging on through my list, I don't just tick, I go and I scribble it as well.
You
So it's
are
like
dead to me.
obliterated from my list forever. Very, very cathartic. So I need to be really careful. I was saying to you before, I've got this top on. I normally wear this top when I go into work. Not all the time. And in work, it doesn't matter that you've got your tits out
No.
and you're showing your underwear and everything, and it's slightly see-through. So I put it on, and every time I moved or bent over, my tit went boing. I went, okay, so I need to do something about this for the podcast today, because if my tit falls on the desk, Dylan's going to have a heart attack. So,
And on that note, Jacob just walked out
I know,
of his
yeah,
office.
he hears it, tits falling out, and Jacob's just like sloped out of his room.
I mean, they did say that they were tag teaming today. So.
He did, yeah. And poor innocent Jacob
He's
didn't
liked
know
it.
what we meant, so we said it means something different in townhouse. Actually, would you like to explain what tag teaming is for the more innocent
I
amongst
mean,
us?
it's pretty self-explanatory, isn't it? Unless you're a virgin.
Well, there might be
Sorry,
some
Jacob.
virgins out there.
Just 2 guys tagging in.
Yeah. So, well, it might just not be 2.
Maybe tagging
Yeah.
over
So
your head as they're going.
they have a little go, don't they? And then when they've had enough, or the girl taps them out,
Yeah.
they're like,
Next.
I have actually seen guys go, over to you, and I'm like,
Just like
fucking
WWE.
hell. Yeah.
Yeah.
And you look at them going, okay, that was not necessary.
Yeah, that exact thing actually happened at the last Pure.
Fuck off. Somebody high-fived, like tagged.
No, it
the
literally
next
said,
person.
mate, tag me out. I thought I need a break.
Fuck off, really?
Those words.
Right, okay, so I want to know. So the next guy in the relay is ready to go. So he's got an erection.
He was ready and ready.
Right, so
It
as
wasn't
he
me, by the way.
tags, he's obviously got a condom on as well. So as he tags the other guy out, the other guy, in one swift motion, pulls
she'd
out,
never
and the other
know.
one goes in.
She has her head down. She wouldn't know any difference.
But what was it? It could be like, whew, she'd never,
Yeah.
out in.
The perfect crime.
Yeah, she doesn't know.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, there you go. So tag
Just
teaming.
don't change the rhythm.
Oh my God. So he'd have to be like going in like this, ready for him to come out. Like that. Go on, mate. I'm ready. Go. And he just goes in and carries on.
This is all with consent, by the way.
Yes. We've
to
missed
slip
the
it in.
crucial thing out there.
Yeah.
Fucking hell. I actually did a video yesterday, a consent workshop video.
Yeah.
So this should be like at the front of my mind. The first thing I should have said was, so Nance, explain what tag teaming is and the consent surrounding such activities. Okay. God, we're off to the...
Save that one for another day.
Yeah, we're off to the start here, aren't we? So, so my tit, I'm going to try and keep it in. But there might just be a little flash every now and then because, we get a bit handsy, a bit jazz hands. If I do it a bit too much, the top's just going to go whew, and everyone's going to see me bra and boobs.
So
and
at this point, everyone on Spotify is jumping over to YouTube just in case.
Yeah, absolutely. Maybe I should just pretend that my tit fell out to get everybody over onto YouTube. Oh, dear. Mate. So I'm dressed like this because I'm doing some Lady C stuff.
Okay.
As you guessed. I only don't wear jeans and t-shirts when Lady C's in the building. So we're doing some Lady C. But it's not stories today. I'm doing some a bit educational stuff in a fun kind of way.
Okay.
Because some people have been asking me some questions. So I'm going to use this opportunity to answer the questions. I can't watch you drinking that piss. Ooh. Right.
I mean, yours isn't much better. Yours is dehydrated piss.
Yeah, mine's piss after you've been on a night out and you're too drunk to get up.
Yeah.
And you wake up about 5 times
like
a night, go, I need a piss, but I can't be arsed getting up. And then eventually you find the strength to get up. And that's what your piss looks like. Yeah. God, what
and
the
if yours
fuck?
looks like that, go to the doctor.
Oh, it's delicious anyway. It's a recording studio tea bag, and it's very nice. Anyway, so before I do my Lady C stuff, I'm going to add in a little new segment each week. It's just going to be a little, actually, I'm dropping in two little things. And it's going to be just a quick on this day or International Week of or International Day of, something like that. So today...
I very almost done
Fuck off.
what happened on this day in history today.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
That would be the first time we've crossed.
I know. But so you haven't
But I
done
didn't
that?
know. I changed my mind.
Okay. So, but I'm going to do something like, so it could be like on this day in history and 17, whatever.
Yeah.
But it's not. Today is National Toast Day.
Is it?
I was looking for something like, a little bit mind-blowing. Like,
You haven't brought us any toast. I fucking love toast.
Oh, I had toast this morning. Right.
Wow,
but on this
selfish.
website, I was reading about National Toast Day. It said, the website's explaining all the different ways you can eat toast. I'm like, you put the toast in the bread in the toaster, it toasts, and then you add stuff on it. But it was honest to God, Nancy, it was a whole fucking page on how to eat toast. It's like the people not know how to eat toast. And then it says how you can celebrate toast.
Oh my God.
And like, so do we celebrate
quite pancake day, is it?
flipping the toast like you do a pancake. So, and for those that don't celebrate Pancake Tuesday, because that's another rabbit hole that I went down, not everybody celebrates Shrove Tuesday in the same way as us.
Well, I've seen this online, like Scousers do it different and have different names for it and stuff.
Scousers do?
Yeah, apparently there's like a whole different thing in Liverpool. But as far as I know, everyone just celebrates.
Well, I'm from Liverpool. I've never heard anything apart from.
I mean, I didn't look into it
it
enough to read what the difference was because
I've never had to flip a pancake.
I'm not from Liverpool and it seemed the exact same to me.
Yeah.
Ate loads of pancakes.
Yeah. Right,
I didn't eat any.
a little spin off. I wasn't going to do this today. I was not going to go off on one, but it's in my head
But
and
here we
I
are.
need to say it. I'm like, so when I was reading about this Shrove Tuesday thing, it was saying about all the different things people do around the world. The pancake flipping is a UK thing. Mm-hmm. And apparently it could be anecdotal. It could just be like, a fragment of the original tale that snowballed. But this woman was making pancakes on a Sunday morning. You just yawned.
I did, sorry.
Wow.
It was a late night last night.
Fucking give me the story of my life here about this flipping pancakes.
Tossing pancakes off.
I love tossing things. So this woman's fucking tossing pancakes in her kitchen on a Sunday morning. And then she hears the church bells ringing and realises she's lost all sense of time. And in her panic goes running out the door to church down the road with her pinny on and her pancake's still in the pan. I'm sure it's a load of shit, but that's what was online. I'm sure there's some proper significance, but I just loved that, Ethel in some fucking village somewhere with her pancake in her pan, just run out with her penny on. Oh shit, I'm going to miss church. There you go.
What did you do? Just stash the pan for your way home?
Yeah, just
Eat your
launch
pancake
it in
on
a
the way.
bush, pick it up on the way back. Anyway, right, so it's National Toast Day. There you go. So if you want to, and this is going out on the 29th of February.
Have some toast for me dinner.
No, have some toast on the 29th of February.
Oh, so it's not today.
Well, it is today when this goes out. Oh,
Right,
fuck,
we're
I'm confused, you know.
We're travelling in time, yeah.
Did you see Nancy's face then? It was like,
I am running on like 3 hours sleep.
Yeah, I mean, it's not that far in advance because we're not actually recording that far in advance for this one. But yeah, 29th of February.
Okay, remind me,
So
I'm like...
on the 29th of February, I'll send you a little text saying, so how did you have your toast today, Nance? Did you toss it?
Toss and toast.
Right, I'm going to start my thing.
Go on then.
Okay, and I'm going to get you involved in a little bit of this. And do you know what? Fuck it. I'm going to
I
get
hope it
Dylan
doesn't
involved.
take too much brain activity today.
You are?
Better not need too much brain activity.
Well, we've got Dylan as well.
I'm full of beans. I'm ready.
You ready to go?
Yeah, of
Beans
course.
on
All
toast.
right then.
Ah!
Okay. So some of the questions I'm not going to ask you because you know them.
Okay.
But we're going to see how innocent Dylan really is. I think he's a bit of a dirt, really. He's developing into one.
Well, he showed us today he's got hidden talent. So.
Yes, yeah.
I'm learning a lot on this podcast. Say that.
You're very welcome.
Thank you.
We'll get you into a Kinkster in no time.
Charge you later.
So, today I'm going to be talking about non-sexual BDSM because people often associate BDSM with sex. And it doesn't always have to be about sex. So I'm just going to explain a little bit about that and, you know, how we can be wicked and not provoke an erection, basically.
Oh,
in a
yeah, a nice
nutshell.
bath.
There's a lot more to it, but, you know. So, Dylan,
Yes.
what does BDSM stand for, mate?
Bondage. Domination. Sadomasochism.
Okay, so there's actually more words in that.
Ooh.
So yeah, you're right. Bondage, domination, and it's actually sadomasochism. But you can actually say bondage, discipline,
Ooh.
and then domination, submission, and then sadomasochism. There's actually a little fucking graph thing that you
my
can do.
God.
I can't be arsed doing that. But there's actually additional words in there.
Okay.
Yes, that's what BDSM stands
That
for.
was a good answer though.
It was a very good answer, so he's not much of an innocent one anymore. How about fetish? What does fetish mean?
Well, my brain's telling me almost something that you're into that's outside the norm.
Yeah.
Is there any other extended definition?
Yeah, so fetish is being used as quite a sweeping statement nowadays, and anything BDSM can also be called a fetish. But traditionally, a fetish is actually something that doesn't necessarily sit in the BDSM. Those words that we just used, the bondage, discipline, domination, submission, sadomasochism. So a fetish can be something that it doesn't turn you on, it doesn't hurt anybody, it doesn't need to have anybody else involved. It's just something that pleases you, makes you feel nice, makes you feel happy, whatever it is. And a perfect example of this is somebody that wears nylons.
Yeah.
A man that would wear nylons, he might not get anything sexual out of it at all. He just likes the sensation of them on his skin. It makes him feel good.
Yeah.
That's a fetish. But yeah, you're right. It is something that doesn't necessarily sit in like societal norms. So if it deviates off that path, it's a fetish.
Cool.
But it tends to be things that don't really fit into those titles, but we do use them sweeping. And I'm going to use fetish and BDSM interchangeably. So we also use the word play. And people have said, what do you mean by play? I thought it was quite obvious, but it's not. And play is basically a blanket word for undertaking any BDSM activity.
Yeah.
It could be a swinging activity as well, really. But in this instance, it's any BDSM activity. So if I say we were in a room, we were playing, that's what we'll be talking about. How about kink, Dylan?
Ooh. Because I would say a similar thing to fetish. I can't actually think of how you would
Yeah.
differentiate those.
Yeah. How about you?
I would say a kink is more, there is a sexual element with a kink.
Yeah. So kink, again, and can be a blanket term for anything BDSM. You see a lot of people saying kink now. But actually, it's not a word that we'd use for more severe forms of play. It's more sexy type of BDSM, isn't it? It's kinky.
Yeah.
You know, me zapping somebody's ball sack is not kinky.
Bumhole.
Or a bum hole, I've done that. I've told everybody about zapping a bum hole.
Yeah.
I think I have, haven't I?
I think we've mentioned this several times because we just enjoy it so much.
Really enjoyed seeing his bum hole go with the cattle prod. Right, if you don't know that story, it's somewhere back there.
Yeah. Go back 23 episodes.
Yeah. So yeah, it's more sexy BDSM type play. It might even be what you're wearing is more sexy. It couldn't be anything, but that's what we'd say about kink. And a scene is the word that we use to describe people participating in BDSM play.
Yeah.
So I am going to be using some of these words, you see, so I just want to explain them. What's a safe word, Dylan?
A word you say to stop any particular activities.
Yes. So a lot of people, since they've watched 50 Shades of Grey, have learned what a safe word is. And people often say safe word now, in stand-up and all sorts of things, and not even in a BDSM way. But a safe word in BDSM is an indicator to the top or the dominant that they need to stop immediately, depending on what the word is, or they can choose another word, which means I just need to communicate with you, or I need to slow down, or I don't like that particular thing that you're doing, but I don't want to stop. So we tend to use a traffic light system. So red would be stop immediately and feel weird, or whatever it is, just stop. And if somebody says that safe word, you stop, and there's no question whatsoever. Now we use amber sometimes, and that is a way of us, I just need to chat to you, or I need something, but we're okay to carry on afterwards. So safe words are really, really important, and we respect them at all times.
What's the best safe word you've ever heard?
I've heard all sorts. Sausages is really, really common. I've heard sausages loads. I had somebody quote something out of Shakespeare, and I'm like, I can't remember that.
So do you know what Mischievous Mick, do you know what his safe word
Go
is? Pizza and nachos.
Pizza and nachos, oh yeah.
Can you remember why?
Yeah. So that is his actual safe word.
That's his safe word, yeah.
My God. You see, if I was in that zone, I'd be like, fuck, what's my safe word? There's too many words in that.
No.
So anybody out there who's thinking about safe words, choose something easy to remember, because when you're in a stressful situation, you need to remember it. You don't need to be like, shit, what's that really complicated Shakespearean word that I said?
Mine's coconuts.
Is it? Yeah. Now, the reason we have a safe word rather than saying stop is because often in a scene, when you're in that headspace, you can make a lot of noises and you might say words that you don't mean in the true sense. So somebody might say, no, 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 or like, oh, no, but they don't mean, no, I don't like it. It's just like, oh, no, here we go again with that thing that they know that does me head in or whatever. So a safe word is basically a word that clearly says to everybody involved, this is me just making noises. This is me. I need to stop or communicate straight away. So a dominant, Dylan.
Somebody that performs dominant acts on a submissive. Is that too vague?
It's a bit vague, that, isn't it?
How would you describe dominance?
So there's two different words. There's a dominant and a top. I'm not going to ask you what a top is. So a dominant is a person, male or female, who will take a position of authority. And it's the misconception that dominants are actually in control. They're not in control. So I tend not to use the word a dominant is the person in control. Because as soon as you give somebody a safe word, that person has ultimate control, because as soon as they say the safe word, it all stops. Yep. So it's actually bullshit that a dominant is in control. But they're in a position of authority. And because of that authority, a submissive would give them a certain amount of respect as an authoritative figure. So they might want to be called mistress, master, sir, whatever. And they would treat the submissive as such. So they would, call them a submissive or the slave or whatever. Now, a top is somebody who likes dominant type activities. They like to be in the top role, but they don't necessarily want to be in an authoritative position, or they don't want to be called master, mistress, or whatever. They don't really like that sort of dynamic of, names and roles, but they just like to undertake the activities. And similarly, a bottom, they would enjoy being on the bottom side, the receiving side, but they wouldn't necessarily want to call somebody mistress, sir. They don't want that dynamic. It's just uncomfortable, really. And then you have somebody in the middle, a switch, which is both of us. We've spoken about this before. I'm somebody that likes to enjoy both receiving and giving. So there we go, a little whistle-stop tour of some terminology. So if I throw these things in, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. Did you learn something there, Dylan?
I learned lots, Vicky. Thank you.
You are so welcome. So now if somebody brings up...
when you speak to her today.
Sorry.
I don't know. I don't know whether Dylan call me Lady C. Go on, call me Lady C.
Lady C.
No.
No. That's a door we don't want opening.
Yeah, no, just Vicky's fine, thanks.
Are you a little bit scared there, Dylan?
Actually. Okay, Dylan.
Yes.
Imagine him peeping in the dungeon.
So, Dylan, just say yes, mistress.
Yes, mistress.
Oh, that was
works.
better. Okay, I like that, but Lady C, no, don't like that.
Okay.
Okay, so if I ask you anything today, what are you going to say?
Yes, mistress.
Oh, he's a good boy.
He's a very, very good boy. Very good boy. I think there's potential here. Do you think?
I think we just need to get him to the dungeon.
I don't think he'd be kicking and screaming, to be honest with you.
Oh no! That's not my safe word.
Don't. Help! Help! Oh, right. Okay, what's it doing? Yeah, okay. So, before I talk about non-sexual BDSM, I want to talk about sexual BDSM. But people do often assume through media that all BDSM has sexual elements.
Yeah.
And a lot of it does. A lot of the time people can be, semi-naked or, they're wearing provocative stuff. You might be using sexual language. So even if you don't mean to be sexual, sometimes it can be arousing to people who are watching or people who are involved. Once you do actually bring BDSM into your sexual relationship, it changes the dynamic forever. I think it doesn't mean that you do it all the time. It means that you've brought this extra dimension into your sexual relationship, which it's just different. You feel differently about each other. I don't mean more in love or anything, but there's this added dynamic. You're not like equal partners. You're allowing somebody to top you or dominate you or whatever. And there's this mutual respect and trust that's involved. And obviously you get that in a sexual relationship, but you're allowing somebody to hit you or tie you up, and there's got to be a massive amount of trust involved. Yeah. And I feel like you level up a little bit. And once you discover it, it's pretty hard to step back away from it, even if you add in little elements. Now, there'll be people out there who might be thinking, that's bullshit, this is just, you're just weird. This is just for weirdos. I'm not going to involve any of this in my sex life. But I bet you a good, massive percentage of people who are like that, no, have experimented in blindfolds while they've been shagging.
Having the hair pulled. Maybe having the hands tied behind the back or whatever. Or even just pinned.
Yeah, just pinned down. That is BDSM, its most simplest form. It's basically a power battle, isn't it?
Pair of handcuffs from
handcuffs.
Poundland on Valentine's Day. Or
if you're like zip ties. If you're feeling a little bit like edgy, zip ties. I'm not saying I've used zip ties. If you've used blindfolds and restraints, you've actually undertaken BDSM activities, so you're weird too. And I'd say a lot of people probably have tried stuff like that. Oh, weirdos do have more fun. However, so there's some of us that do enjoy BDSM without any sexual elements whatsoever. Now, that is not to say that during the session, like I said before, either party might not get aroused. They might do, or they might store what's happened for further on down the line as a fantasy or whatever. What I mean by this is we don't set out to arouse somebody. We don't touch the genitals in any way unless we're whacking them with something. But we don't set out to, on this like sexual journey, if you like. It's just about the sadism. And some people call it pure sadists or non-sexual sadists. And I don't really like that. I don't like putting labels on things like that, really. But there's an awful lot of these non-sexual activities that don't include pain. Mm-hmm. So how would you be a sadist if you don't include pain in it? So I don't like that. And an example of that, I suppose, would be, let's say pet play. We have got a handler who's in a top position and then a submissive in like a dog. That's definitely a podcast for another day. We'll definitely do pet play at some point. But that's an example. It's not sexual and there's no pain involved. So I don't like giving it a name. And we say this thing, isn't it? What was it? Your kink is not my kink, but your kink is okay. Yeah. It's a thing that we say on the scene. We don't kink shame.
Nope, never.
So just because I might go, oh, that's a bit unusual. And internally I might go, oh, I don't think I could do that. But when I'm talking to somebody, I won't go, that's a bit fucking weird, isn't it? Unless it's you. If you I think you did say something once. Oh, that's right, when you were edging.
Yeah.
And you edged sometimes for days.
Yeah.
And I was like, Oh my God. And
You just explode.
And then I look back on it, I was like, a bit kink shamey that, but it's all right. I'd shame you, it's all right. But we tend not to do that, do we? We don't kink shame. So, some fetishes out there are very unusual. But I would never say to somebody, okay, you're just a little bit too weird for our club.
No.
Because weirder the better, as far as I'm concerned. And some things that people out there might find weird are just completely normal everyday things to them, aren't they? So non-sexual BDSM. So like I said before, neither party set out to get a sexual kick out of the scene, but there's a good chance, especially the bottom submissive, they might store it for future reference. There has been times, and I've tried my best. I told you about the water guy, the ice bucket challenge. There's been times, and even the guy I said, I tried. One actually came in chastity. I said to him in the end, you have to take it off. It looks so uncomfortable. He was that erect. It was like when you bone and roll a leg of like pork or something. His cock was busted out of this thing. And I tried my best. I did, Nance. I tried my best to stop it. But it just grew.
Some of those cages are so small.
This was pretty small. And anyway, I went, mate, go and get your key. Because I can't concentrate with this like leg of pork sticking out of this cage.
Gammon joint.
Yeah. So the sort of play that are involved in this kind of non-sexual BDSM can be impact.
Yeah.
Actually, Dylan, can you think of some examples? I'm putting them on the spot here. Some examples of BDSM that might not be sexual.
That might not be sexual.
You've listened to my episode. You're a bit educated now.
Yeah. The only examples I can think almost is like really specific instructions, like when you've got people to like put books on their head and walk, and that's not sexual.
No, that's not sexual.
Yeah.
No.
What would you call that?
That's role play.
Role play.
And role play can be classroom, it can be a doctor nurse, it can be, we've had Mistress Silk doing the courtroom. Mm-hmm. That was really, really good. She is like the master mistress of role play. Yeah. Role play doesn't come easy to me for some reason.
No, I can't. I just can't.
No, I mean, I can do the schoolroom headmistress things. I've just done it loads.
I can't even look happy. I can't fake anything.
Imagine you try and be like a character
That's
actor.
serious.
No, you can do the serious roles because your face doesn't move. You recently had a little top up, didn't you?
I did.
And Nancy, on the day of the top up, you moved your forehead a little bit and you had a few little lines, didn't you? And she was doing that. She was really fucking trying. I just do that and I'm like full of lines. But then was it Tuesday? I went, right, how's your Botox going? And you really tried your best to
like
frown.
my eyebrows weren't moving.
And she was like, go, and you strained to have a shit. And nothing was happening. No movement whatsoever.
I think I've got like two little lines on this
They're not
side.
there now. Try again now. No lines. Right, just try really hard.
I was. I'm going to force a
I'm
fart
doing
out.
it for you. I'm like that. I'm willing you. Okay,
No.
so you do your scrunch face and I'll do mine.
That's it.
I don't actually know what faces I'm doing. I'm just proving that mine's very elastic.
And mine's plastic.
Anyway. So, yeah, okay. So I was talking about the pork guy with the, okay. Right, so we were talking about, I know, you were coming up with some non-sexual BDSM stuff. So you said role play. Humiliation and degradation.
Love that.
Servitude and sissification. Foot fetish, tickle torture. That's just to name a few, isn't it? There's absolutely loads. Now, humiliation, degradation, in fact, all of those, somebody will get a kick out of those.
Yeah.
In fact, everything they can get a kick out of. But with these particular things, we can do these no problem at all with no sexual elements. I mean, humiliation, degradation. I actually did have a guy, and the more I slagged him off, the bigger his erection got. I'm like, how am I supposed to humiliate you and not turn you on? And he went, this has never happened before. It must have been the way I was saying, you dirty fucking bastard.
I really wish I'd put my new t-shirt on. I've just bought a new t-shirt.
Okay, right, wear it next time then.
Okay.
Or the time after, or wherever
See you
you
next
remember. Okay, so they're just a few little BDSM activities. So why would people choose to take part in these activities if there wasn't a sexual element? Some people do simply enjoy the escapism that fetish brings. It's almost stepping into a different persona.
Yep.
You know, you wear certain clothes and you become somebody else. And there's some forms of BDSM which really take people out of the headspace. I just want to talk about it a little bit. And it's bondage, encapsulation and imprisonment. Now, we can sometimes use bondage, like I was saying before. We can, use handcuffs or whatever. And we can use that as part of other forms of play. But there's some people that love bondage on its own. And it's very, very heavy bondage. So it could be a hog tie, which is tying your hands and your feet behind you together.
Yeah.
It could be using a vac bed. I'll talk about a vac bed in a minute. It could be a sleep sack. It could be a body bag. It could be anything like that. Why do you think somebody might like that sort of encapsulation bondage, Dylan?
The relinquishment of power.
Yeah. It is.
I reckon he's Googling over there watching us next.
Or he's just, secretly knows all this shit.
Making notes.
Yeah. So, people that normally are into this kind of thing have got really stressful lives. And so they'll come to us for that encapsulation, that sort of tight sort of bondage. It's like they can't get away. They can't get out. So eventually they just give in. And they relax and they get into this headspace and they escape. I used to have this guy who used to book 4 hours. I didn't have to do anything apart from put him in some kind of bondage. I changed regularly and put him in a cage. Pretty small cage as well. And he loved it. And basically he said that my real life is just so chaotic. I just need that time out. I need time out from life. And if I didn't have my restraints on, I'd find a way out the cage because my head would be doing this. Yeah. I need to answer the phone, I need to do this. So by restraining me and putting me in a cage, it stops me and my head just switches off. And he used to come out a different man.
Maybe this is what me, you and Sarah need to do. Take turns. Fucking tying each other up and just forcing each other to have a break.
Or not. You can do that. I'll put you in a cage, no problem.
Yeah.
Free of charge.
When you say, put your phone down, I can't reach it.
The problem is though, right, I won't be able to keep this up because you'll be in the cage for 3 hours and I'll be like, text, I can't text Nancy, she's in the cage. Like that, fucking hell, she's in the cage.
Come out to 92 voice notes.
So Nance, I know you're in the cage and you're not supposed to be thinking, but somebody's just contacted me and I need an answer to this question now. So it wouldn't work.
Yeah.
So it's all bullshit.
We're fine.
Yeah. So the vac bed that I was talking about before, I do have a picture, Dylan. On me little pictures that I've sent over. There's one that says vac bed and then vac bed 2. So you put vac bed up for us. Okay, so this is basically a plastic tubing system in an oblong, as you can see, and it has like a latex sack over it. And a person would shimmy into the sack, get themselves comfortable, and there's like a hole where the mouth would be. They'd find the hole, get themselves positioned. When they're ready, then you'd seal them in. So they'd put like grippers in, and you would vacuum the air out of it using a 2-way valve system. And you'd only do it slowly, and you'd check in regularly to make sure they're okay, they're coping, they're regulating the breathing. I can take a good 10 minutes to get them into complete encapsulation. And then once they're in, because it's latex, they're restricted, but they can still move the chest so they can breathe, but they have to use shallow breathing. There's another picture there, vac bed 2, of the actual face and the hole. There you go. So you can see there's not much there, just that little hole. And what I do, I use that hole not just to allow them to breathe, but also for the safe signal. Because the latex is so tight around their face, they can't necessarily talk in a normal way. So I just say, stick your tongue out, and they go through the hole. And that's the safe word, safe signal. But because sometimes people can get really lost in that space and very quickly think, oh shit, I can't breathe, or they might panic, they might nod off and then wake up and go, where am I? I'm always watching. I never walk away from a person who's encapsulated, especially in that way. Because if they jump suddenly and then they start breathing really deep, and then that's restricting and they panic. Yeah. But we can get them out really quickly. We can flick the 2-way valve, we can take the grippers off. There's a number of ways. But that in particular, because the sound changes because you're in this sort of sack, it's almost like a womb. And I've heard people saying that it's almost womb-like. Everything sounds whooshy. inside. You can hear your pulse in your ears and all that. And the people that like it get an awful lot of comfort from it. Once they're used to it and you slow down their breathing, they just fucking go. That's it.
I think I'd try it. I've never done it.
Well, I've got
but I would.
2 vac beds, so if you want to try one. I need to like work out. One's got a hole in it. I'm not going to tell you how there's a hole in it. One's got a hole. I need to work out which one's which. So there's another form of non-sexual BDSM. Again, some people bring sex into it, but most don't. And it's one which is really controversial. And I'm gonna tackle it. Age play. Okay. So I'm not going to talk about adult babies here. We're talking about people who revert almost.
Yeah.
And we've had events in our club, littles parties. And it's basically an age play party where people can revert back to 2, 3, 4. And I've spoken to a lot of people at these littles parties and asked them, what is it? What is it about this sort of play? And it is seen as a fetish because it's outside of societal norms. But it's not necessarily BDSM. So they're the mummies, daddies, aunties, whoever. They're not there to discipline them as such. That can happen. They're there as their minders, I suppose, you know. And what they said is going into that sort of 3, 4, 5-year-old space, it makes them feel safe. They're reverting back to a time where there wasn't any stress, there wasn't any worries. Life was so much easier. Yeah. And a lot of people that undertake age play, they have really stressful lives. They've got a lot of responsibility. And so the time when they're in our club or wherever they are undertaking age play, they can just put all that aside and just pretend and play. And they do. They play like 3 and 4-year-olds. They play games, they colour in, they play with each other, you know, like chasing each other around. We've played hide and seek. I even had ducks in the jacuzzi one day and they were doing hug a duck. And it's just like we've got a club full of kids. I mean, to be honest, I don't like kids. And adult kids are no different. But it was fun. It was fun to watch. And that's another form of non-sexual BDSM. And impact caning, paddling, spanking, all that kind of thing. So we've talked about hormones before, endorphins, adrenaline, oxytocin. These are all hormones that are released when somebody is hit with something in a BDSM scene. So if somebody just punches you, not necessarily going to get a release of endorphins and oxytocin. But, you know, if it's done in the right way, if it's built up slowly, we can promote the release of these hormones. And so when people say, why do you want to be hit when there's no sexual element at all? This is why, because they're chasing the morphine high. And I have talked about that briefly before. It's like a drug. And like any drug, though, you know, it needs to be enjoyed in moderation. And variety is the spice of life. So I wouldn't say to somebody, do this every time, experiment on other things, because you can become reliant on it. And then what happens is you don't get the same high. So you have to be hit harder with heavier things more often. And the way in which you experience pain becomes more severe because you're not getting the same release. Yeah. So it is just like a drug. And we can get a drop from it just like you can from any other drug. So it needs all these things, you know, you need to be aware of their effects before you undertake them. And the effects afterwards, we can get drops that can last a few days in some people. And tops and dominants can get drops. We don't necessarily get the endorphins because we're not getting hit, but we can get an adrenaline high from the physical exertion, from the excitement of doing something like this. If you've got people watching you, the reaction you get from the crowd and all that. So we can get this adrenaline rush. And that can hit the next day or the day after. I often try and like work my diary, so I haven't got anything too physically demanding after a scene for that reason, because I've started getting quite a lot of top drops as I'm getting older. And just before I finish, I might do this as a separate subject another day. Did you know, Dylan, there's a such thing as paingasms?
Paingasms. I would believe it.
Okay.
From what I've seen in this podcast so far.
Okay, I thought what you were going to say is what I've seen on X-Hamster. That's where he's doing all his research.
I can't give too much away.
So paingasms, it's an orgasm without any erogenous, well, it is erogenous zone, I suppose, but clitoral, penile stimulation or nipples. So there's no stimulation in the normal sense. Basically, somebody is being hit repeatedly in the same spot Now, there is a bit of science around this, but my theory on this is you're being hit in the same spot. It's built up slowly, 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 so you can take it, no problem. And I think what is happening is you're promoting this release of endorphins. The more you hit, the more endorphins. And when I've done it, the hitting becomes faster. Like, I suppose, when you're trying to achieve a normal orgasm. And so the faster and harder you go, the more these hormones flood, and then all of a sudden you get this massive flood of endorphins, oxytocin, everything to achieve a payingasm.
And you get the shumph.
And you get one hell of a shumph, Nance. Have you ever had a payingasm?
No, don't think so.
Okay, I'm going to admit I have.
I think I've had
A lot.
a mixture,
Okay.
like where you mix.
So have you had some stimulation at the same time? Okay, well I haven't. And it basically gets you right up your spine from your coccyx. It goes right up your spine, and it makes you go like that. It makes you go rise up. It's like it's uncontrollable. Might have been a little bit uncomfortable for some of you to watch. I just forgot where I was there for a second. Thank you. So it is a thing. It's hard to achieve, but once you do, it's a little bit mind blowing. I can't lie.
To say the least.
Yeah. So I'm not going to carry on with the rest of it. I might, again, actually do this as a little bit of an extra for our Patreons. But I've covered most of that, really. What do you think about that, Dylan? Does it give you some food for thought?
You know what? Give me some research time.
Research time.
Yeah, I'll figure it out. But thank you. That was very educational.
You are more than
I
welcome.
appreciate it.
We're definitely going to make a Kingston out of him, aren't we? He's got that look in his eye. Oh.
The twinkle.
Is that going to be your scene name?
Twinkle toes. Oh my God. Oh,
You see
right.
him on Fat Life later.
I know, yeah. Sir Twinkle. Would you be top or bottom,
Subby
Dylan?
Twinkle.
Probably a top.
A top.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll soon beat that island. So it would be Sir Twinkle.
Yeah.
Right then. So me dangly bit is just dead quick, Nance. So it's about leap year.
Okay.
Did you know how it came about that women started proposing to men on leap year?
No idea.
Apparently. Do you know this? Because you should know this. It's Irish.
What is this about a leap year?
He wasn't
Wasn't even
listening.
fucking listening.
Oh, fucking
You're
rude.
yawning. He's zoning out. I'm having a lovely time on my own. Hope you are too, because nobody else is paying attention whatsoever. Right then. So what I was saying was, where does it come from where women propose to men on leap year?
I'm not sure, actually.
Not Irish at all?
Nope.
No.
It could
It's
be
all
because
fake.
this is just a Google lie, to be honest with you. I don't think it is. Apparently, in the 5th century in Ireland, I mean, it wasn't that long ago, Dylan. You should know this. It's just clickbait. Obviously, don't do this in history. So, St. Bridget. You know who St. Bridget
I know her
is?
well.
Okay.
St. Bridget Jones.
Our bridge moaned to St. Patrick. You definitely know who fucking St. Patrick is. That women were not allowed to propose to men. So legend has it that St. Patrick designated the only day that does not occur annually, February 29th, is a day on which women would be allowed to propose to men. And eventually hopped over the Irish Sea to Scotland and England, but because we're British and we do these sorts of things, we decided to add a little twist. And if a man rejected a woman's proposal, he owed her a debt of several pairs of fine gloves to hide the fact that she did not have an engagement ring.
Fucking keep your gloves.
Okay, wow.
Buy me Dr. Martens.
Right, we might just run on a little bit here because I want to hear Nancy's bit. It might, okay. Dylan's just one, whatever.
Yeah, leave them to it.
Okay, go on, Nance. What have you got for us, kid?
Well, I've got a little bit of me.
Oh,
I know.
we like a little bit of you. I've been trying to drag a little bit out of you over the past episodes. Like, we need to know more about you.
Well, this one's a bit personal, but we like to share.
We do.
So here we are.
Oh, we do.
So after seeing some crazy stories online
Yes.
about people going abroad for surgery,
Yes.
I just wanted to share my experience.
Okay.
So it's been exactly a year. When does this episode go out?
This goes on the 29th of February.
So on the 25th of February, it's been a year. So next week, since I jumped on a flight, went to Turkey, took my little best mate as my little chaperone. And
Your best mate that you met in the bogs in work.
dunno. Yeah. And I just wanted to change my life. So all of my life, I've been up and down in weight, and I've lost weight, I've been skinny, I've put on loads of weight, and I've been huge. And I just wanted to change it.
Yeah.
I spoke to you loads about it before I'd done it.
I did think you were a little bit mad going to Turkey. I did say it at the time, didn't I? I was
did.
very concerned.
You were. Yeah. But I'd done it. So I got on a flight, landed in Antalya, and then there was a little man with my name on a board. And we were like, what the fuck are we doing here? But I was there, so I'm just like,
Yeah.
whatever, we're here, do it. So at the time, I was like just over 19 stone.
Yeah.
And now that is like mind blowing to me, because even though I knew it was big, I was never 19 stone.
Yeah.
But I was. So I took action. I spent weeks going like back and forth with this person on my phone.
Yeah.
Loads of questions, and they were really like thorough, and it was good. And I felt like prepared and stuff going. So jumped in this private taxi, and
I think I say private plane then. Fucking hell.
No, private taxi from the airport. And it was dead nice. Drove us to this dead nice hotel. And it was like, this is just going to be a ball for like 5 days, me and my mate.
A ball.
Minus the surgery bit.
Yeah.
But it was, So obviously I was on like that stupid pre-op diet. Do you remember how stressful it was? It was horrible.
I was bringing cake into work and you were like, I can't eat it.
Yeah, I can't have that.
Never
sorry.
mind, I'll have it.
Yeah. Give me a glass of milk.
I'm such a good friend.
Yeah. I mean, you've took several cakes for the team, haven't you? I've eaten them.
I like cake.
Yeah. So there we were. We were sat in this hotel. It was dead nice. She's tucking into a big plate of pasta and I'm sipping on a cup of soup.
Trying to see your end goal.
Yeah. But the pre-op diet was crazy. So while I was there, I was like, you just have your pasta, it's fine. It's fine. But yeah, my cup of soup. So sitting there in that moment, I just remember thinking, this is it now. Like, I'm nervous, I'm excited, I feel like I'm probably going to shit myself. Like, it was all these things all at once, but it was like, it's in the morning, so sound. Morning came, went to the hospital. Now, I was a bit terrified of like, not the surgery, not that part of what was like, how am I going to speak to people, or like, what's the hospital going to be like? Is it going to be fucking clean? Is it going to be? But it was perfect. So we turned up. There was this coordinator. I can't remember her name. She wasn't that good. But she was lovely. And she was like, she spoke perfect English. She took us, everyone had like a private room. So you turn up and you we left the hotel, and then you go to that hotel and you pick up like all these people going for the same surgery. So you end up in like a little group.
Are they all going for bariatric surgery?
All going for bariatric surgery, yeah. And we picked them all up, got there, and then she dropped us off one by one in our rooms, and it was like, good luck, see you later.
Wow.
And then within half an hour, the surgeon's there, you've met your surgeon, you're having your bloods done, you're getting your tests done, and then you get taken down to this different floor in the hospital, and it's all of your tests. So I had like psychiatric tests, I had physical tests, like blowing into tubes, doing this, having scans.
Did a psychiatric test and you passed?
Yeah.
Fucking hell.
Has someone forced you to come here today? Yes. But it was it was really, really thorough, and it like gave me a bit of confidence. And there was this one guy who was huge, and he just wanted to go out for a ciggy. And he like didn't want to do his test. He just wanted a ciggy. And he was like, I didn't even know I was getting this done. My wife's getting her hair done or her teeth done or something. Oh yeah, his wife was getting her teeth. He was getting his hair and bariatric surgery.
But he didn't know about the bariatric?
And she just booked it and said, we're going to Turkey.
But surely then, that question, the psychiatric assessment
he
thing...
didn't end up going through with it.
I was going to say, because he's not consented at all.
But he got through the psychiatric thing. He went down to endoscopy because he had his before me, and I seen him getting wheeled out on his bed, and I was like, oh,
wow.
He must be doing it.
God.
Because he was like, we're getting married and my wife just wants me to look good.
Oh, but she met him the way he was.
I know, I was like, surely.
Oh
Yeah.
God, no, I don't like that idea. Sorry, mate, if you're watching,
Yeah.
but you know. She met you the way you were.
Hope your hair went well.
It was a very positive experience.
But it was great.
Yeah.
So within, the tests all took like an hour or so. And then within 40 minutes, that was it. I was down for surgery. Woke up. And it was just my immediate reaction. I woke up in a lot of pain because they did question me beforehand. How do you tolerate like pain and stuff? And I'm like, yeah, I'm sound.
Whack me with a paddle, I'm fine.
Yeah. But to them, that was like, okay, so we don't need to fill her full of morphine before she wakes up. And I woke up and I felt everything.
Oh, no. Give me that morphine.
Yeah. And I was like, ow.
Yeah.
Poor Ash was like terrified that she was, oh my God, is she okay?
Yeah.
But no, it was great. And I think it's nice to hear like this side of things.
Yeah,
because
you do hear horror stories.
And there has been
Yeah, there
loads
has
of horror
been.
stories.
Yeah.
And like the numbers and stuff you see online, like, oh my God, this person's died in Turkey. It's the worst
Yeah.
thing. But I've got it here somewhere.
You've had nothing but really good things to say about your experience
Yeah.
over there.
I
To
mean,
the
it
point
hasn't
where you
been
think
easy.
about other bits and bobs, aren't you?
Yeah, it hasn't been totally easy. Like, coming home, I have lost all the weight and stuff. But
It's restrictive.
some days, cook a Sunday dinner for the family. You want to sit and eat it, but
Yeah.
no, a couple of mouthfuls of food.
Yeah.
So they took away 85% of my stomach and left me with literally, it's just called a sleeve. So it's literally just like a little banana,
Yeah.
tiny little bit of belly.
Wow.
So within, well, you've seen me eat like 3 or
Yeah.
4 mouthfuls and I'm like,
Yeah. A bit
that's
of
why I
meal
can't
with
drink
you.
a
I'm
drink.
like,
Yeah.
oh, pass it over here.
Yeah. But I wouldn't change it because it's
No.
been so positive for me.
Yeah.
I am thinking of going back and going back hopefully in September to have the skin and stuff done now that I'm happy. And I'm just concentrating now on going to the gym, like making the best of
Yeah. Well, helping
what
yourself.
I've got now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You've put years on your life, Nance.
Yeah. And I love it and I wouldn't change it. Like I'm finally at a point where, today I got my target weight and that's been 51 weeks
Mad,
since
though,
my
isn't it?
surgery.
So good. Right, you got a picture?
I have. I've sent it to Dylan.
Yes.
Made me a little bit nervous.
Gosh, look
That
at the
was
difference.
a year ago.
Isn't that nuts?
That was right before the surgery because I had those nails in Turkey.
I was going to say, actually, those nails are fantastic.
I love those nails.
Yeah. The difference. And well done for putting that picture up there. I know it probably make you feel a bit uncomfortable, but it's just showing your journey, isn't it? Look at your bone
think-
structure in your face.
It doesn't even, and I haven't even got Botox on that picture either. But
I
that
think it's
doesn't even
amazing.
show me full size because I think I took some
Yeah.
like before photos that I definitely wasn't
I
sharing. 'cause they're in
was
undies.
looking for some photos for our friend's hen party that you've asked
Yeah.
for, and there's one of you with her and a few of us, and I forgot actually
Yeah.
how big you were at the time.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well done,
Crazy,
kid.
innit?
Well done.
But yeah, that's me.
Well done. It's amazing where you've come. It really, really is. And it's not easy. I keep saying to you, don't let anyone say that you took the easy way out because I've watched what you can't eat.
Yeah.
Even though the surgery went well, it's changed your life fundamentally for good and bad. There's some not so great things, but actually the payoff's huge.
Yeah, absolutely.
So no, well done.
So
well
it's not
done.
always scary.
No. Right, I am just going to finish off there. There's just going to be a little bit that I was going to do, but Dylan's going to tell me off. I'll leave it till next time.
You got the goat.
So I've got the goat now, so that is. Shut the fuck up, Vic. Right, so we're going to leave you. So if you're binge watching us, go put the kettle on and we'll see you in 5 minutes. Otherwise, we'll see you next week. Thanks for joining
Bye.
us. And there we have it. Another day made better by listening to the curators of chaos. Thanks for dropping by. And if you enjoyed the show, we'd really appreciate you sharing your love for the Pad to Sell podcast with your friends. Don't forget, give us a follow on our socials, maybe leave us some 5-star reviews, and feel free to send us an email to medic@the Podcast, or even interact with us on Facebook, Insta, and our other socials, because we love chatting to you. Be sure to stop by next week because, as Bowie says, I don't know where I'm going next, but I promise it won't be boring. Catch you soon.